Today we're talking to Sorcha Nallen, who is Outreach and Designated Safeguard Officer, wow, of the Anne Sullivan Centre in Ireland. Sorcha, you're very welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Great to talk to you. You might start by telling us a bit about the history of the Anne Sullivan Centre and why it got its name.
So the Anne Sullivan Centre was started in the 90s by a group of family and friends who had someone in their life who was deafblind, but they didn't have anywhere that they could go that would support the person in their lives around the issues relating to deafblindness. There were organisations for people who were deaf or hard of hearing, and organisations for people with vision loss and vision impairment, but there was nothing at that time for people who were deafblind. So they got together and started the organisation. Then the name comes from Anne Sullivan, who was the teacher of Helen Keller, who was probably the most famous deafblind person that people would know.
Okay, very good. How many people does it look after? And what is the gender split?
So right now we're at full capacity in our residential service, which is based in Stillorgan. So we have 13 adult residents, and we have an even smaller day service with just 2 day service users. So we are a small organisation, we're a niche organisation, but our outreach programme would be a lot bigger. That would be a nationwide service that we provide to people that aren't in a residential setting.
You said it's a small centre, but it's also a vital centre, and that's extremely important. So you said, you already asked my next question about it being live-in or day services. Talk us a bit about the application process.
So the residential service is at full capacity, so we can't take on anyone else to live in our centre. Day service applications would have to go through the HSE, and then they'd feed them down to us.
Okay.
Our outreach service, we would take referrals for anybody of any age in Ireland who has vision and hearing loss of some degree. We don't have a minimum requirement. It's just as long as both of those senses are impaired to some degree, then that person can access our outreach services. Go ahead.
If I want to apply, how would I?
So there's a referral form on our website, which is annesullivan.ie. You could get in touch directly with us through our email, which is outreach@annesullivan.ie.
Very good. Tell us a bit about outreach. You mentioned that earlier. What's involved and what does it give you if you go and apply and get on it?
So our outreach programme is a very vast and varied. Right now there's 2.5 of us in the outreach team, and I say 2.5 because we have 2 full-time staff and 1 part-time staff. So I'm based in
They're not tiny little people, are they?
No. So I'm based in the east of the country, so I'll travel to all countries or all counties on the east and visit people. You know, it could be somebody in hospital, it could be a child in school, it could be somebody living at home. And I'll do an assessment and I'll provide recommendations. And those recommendations could be around communication, could be safety in the home, independence strategies. It could be things around assistive technology. We might provide training then to the school, the service, that person's family around ways to better support, that person in their lives who is deafblind.
I'd imagine assistive technology is extremely important.
It's becoming a much bigger part of our role, particularly in the past few years. We're actually having an open day on the 8th of November in our premises in the Anne Sullivan Centre, and that's open to anybody if they want to pop in, just see what we have to offer. We have an assistive technology library, which is full of items that can support the deafblind community in Ireland. So that's open to the public. It's between 12 and 3 on the 8th of November.
Brilliant. That's great, yeah. So what services do you provide?
So we have our residential, our
So
day
tell us,
service.
if you take that as its own piece,
Yeah.
what happens there and what do people get by going there?
So in our residential service, everyone's supported one-to-one.
Okay.
A lot of the residents that live in our residential setting, they would be deafblind and have complex needs, so they do need that one-to-one support. So, they're supported to live as independent lives as possible.
Very
Some of them
good.
have jobs, some of them, they'll go out. Everyone's very busy here. They're going out for walks, shopping, restaurants. Their supporters have social lives outside of the centre as well. So they're doing the things that you and I would do. They're just
Yeah.
supported to do those things. Yeah.
So an independent life where possible.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
brilliant. And then day services, what do you access when you come in for them?
So again, it's independent strategies. The day service user will come in the morning. They might plan their day or their week ahead, and some of them have jobs as well. They might have courses that they do that they'll work on, socialize with other friends that they have in the centre. Going out as well, doing day trips to the beach if the weather is ever good.
Yeah,
Different things like that. It's very varied as well, but it's based on that person's preferences.
very good. I'd imagine the peer aspect of it is very important also.
Yes, of course, everyone wants to have friends and be social, and they should be supported to do that.
Very good. If I was somebody who has just been told that I need to apply for some services
Yeah.
because I am deafblind in some capacity, how do I do that?
So they can be referred to our service, and that could be referred from their audiologist or their ophthalmologist. They can
Yeah.
refer themselves to our service. That's no problem at all. And then we'll meet with that person,
That's
have a
the
chat.
first thing that happens, isn't me?
Yeah, so we'll
Yeah.
set up an appointment to meet in person and really have a good chat about what their priorities are. Everybody might be at different stages of their journey, and we'll just start, with their lead. What do they want support with, and then build on that from then.
I'm sure it's a big thing for them to put a hand up and say, I need a bit of help here.
Yeah, absolutely. And some people can be very accepting of if it's a new diagnosis, and some people might need more time to get used to that diagnosis. I mean, being deaf-blind really does have an impact in pretty much every area of your life. How you communicate, how you socialize, how you enjoy activities as well. They're all things that might have to be adapted now that your vision and hearing is impacted.
Yeah, that's a tough piece of your life if you ever get into that situation. Tell us a bit about some of the training you provide.
So we have a course that we run a few times a year. It's Introduction to Deaf Blindness. So generally it's open to anyone, but we'll get a lot of professionals from different organizations or services. Deafblind people themselves are more than welcome to join those training sessions. And within that course, we talk about, what it actually means to be deafblind, what the impacts are, different communication strategies, and then different strategies to support independence, whether that's at school or at home. We also do kind of individual trainings around different kinds of syndromes that cause deaf blindness. So maybe somebody in a particular service has somebody that has, for example, Usher syndrome, which is one syndrome that causes deaf blindness, and we'll provide training on that.
Very good. That's really interesting stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you fundraise? And if you do, have you anything coming up soon?
We do fundraise from time to time. We might do a campaign, and you'll see details about that on our social media.
Okay.
There's also on our website a donate button as well if people are interested.
Very good. It must cost a few quid to get everything done.
Well, we're lucky that our residential service is funded by the HSE, but
Oh, wow.
our outreach service gets no government funding, unfortunately. So we operate as a charity. So we do rely on those donations.
Very good. And look, that's all I have. Have you
Okay.
anything else to say before we want to go?
No, just if anybody wants to follow the different things that we do, our social media, we primarily use Instagram. So Anne Sullivan DB is our handle. So there you'll see different events that we have for different tips and strategies to support someone who's deafblind.
That's fabulous. Sorcha, thank you so much for talking to us at Disability Matters.
No problem. Thanks so
You're
much for
very
having me.
kind. Thank you.